moderators. I don't have any moderators, and I am just here by myself. And this is not a formal space, to be honest. Sometimes I do formal work here, but usually it's just like this channel, since 2011 when I started, has been just a place to store things. So I don't have to put it on the memory of devices before the cloud existed, I guess I would say. And it has been for filming nature a lot, tons of incredible footage I've gotten. 10 years studying a field and stream nearby, or images of nature all over the world. For recording and documenting thoughts of mine that I don't have time or place, or it's the wrong venue to write it, and so I feel I need to say it. I'll use this channel for that. And then to document, because I don't know why I'm obsessed with documenting things. I think it's because I do feel like, you know, an experimental creature. Artificial intelligence, right? I mean, my mom didn't even want to be here. My dad wanted to be here, so he brought me when I was 2, and now he's dead, and I'm an American, and so much of it has been an observed critique by me, because the whole time I've been an outsider, you know, like I'm not part of my beliefs are not part of the general discourse. I have vehemently disagreed with the direction the nation went since 1981 when I became a citizen, right? So it's weird, in my opinion. But I'm an American, and I've been an American for longer than Schwarzenegger, as the saying goes. I've been an American longer than Schwarzenegger. And in this instance, I was like, one thing about live, you can go live on there, is that it allows you to add pressure to yourself. You can't have dead air. You have to make less mistakes. You have to be a little more alert to the fact that the spectrum is rolling. See, the spectrum is what we in radio used to call, live radio. You would go on the air, and it's alive. Hear that? And it's going out to whether it's 15 people in upstate New York, and it's a kid like Lou Reed, you know. Or it's a big station, public community station like the one I worked on in Los Angeles, so you're reaching maybe as many as 800,000 people, 500,000 people daily. And there are times when you could be reaching 1 million people, you know. Well, that live thing, that thing you can hear here, when you hear that buzz, is an extant pressure that anybody who's ever been live on anything feels. You feel it. Now, even in a context like this, which is not a show, right? This is the anti-show, right? I wanted to have a YouTube channel where I can just do whatever I want, say whatever I want, and I can't, because what has happened is that Google, Facebook, all of the big tech bros have allowed a really problematic methodology regarding their censorship. So we have that issue that has arisen. Fifth time maybe I've ever sat down with the electric guitar. I've only ever played acoustic guitars my whole life. I play some electric basses, which is much easier because you're down here fiddling with them. So maybe this is not the time to be live with the guitar, because it is not the actually set up item in question. But thank you, Sweetwater, for the little practice Yamaha. All my stuff is Japanese. I was thinking about buying a British car though recently. I have a Japanese motorcycle, I have a Japanese car, I have a Japanese guitar, I have a Japanese amp, I have Japanese stuff. I lived among the Japanese on a couple of different occasions. Once I lived there for pretty much an entire year with my small family, my child, 3-year-old child, and my ex, his mother, and our dog, Maisie, in a couple of places. And I admired the Japanese very much. My father admired the Japanese very much, and so he taught me at a young age to learn about their culture and gain my own respect for that culture, which I did do. So the Japanese, in our estimation, my dad and I, well, he's gone now, so in my estimation, have a very high place in terms of their ethic is completely different from my own, and admirable in terms of kind of precision. The part that I admire the most is the precision, the accuracy, the kind of there's not a lot of hemming and hawing. It's like the decision just made, boom, cut and dry, then that's the best, and everybody agrees it's the best, like that. Boom, moving on. And I sit around, you know, I was born in the tropics, right? I'm born in 10 degrees above the equator. I'm a brown South Indian. We're not really uptight, I would say, about most things. Our religious people are very uptight. The Brahmins, from which I come, are very uptight, because there's a sacrosanct methodology of passing things down through oral tradition, which is many centuries, actually in our case, millennia old, a couple of millennia old. So it has to be passed down the way it was from my dad to me, and from his to him, and etc. These things are not taught by mothers or indeed churches or temples. The temple's a place where you can have functions, sure, but the Brahmanism is taught at home, I think, ultimately, and then in setting with a guru, like a Sishya guru situation. So they have been historically closed, not necessarily because of some soldier outside telling you can't study this stuff, but because you have to have both the desire and the temerity to kind of like, you got to stick with it. You can't just quit, you know, you can't bail on it, which I think most people do. And, you know, Western films have a great habit of reducing real enduring effort to short little sections that are in a montage so that people think they can just learn something quickly. And this has turned into an insane level of stuff, you know. But you can't do that. You can't just learn things suddenly, quickly. And you're not going to put a chip in your head that's going to make you suddenly wiser. And you're not going to have none of those things. The fact is that it's enjoyable to take the thing that you are, the human species that you are, and have fun with things that we've been playing with for many, many years, you know. was finished with the morning improv, which is what this is, I just immediately started speaking in a very loud voice into the and that's how I die. I've been thinking about that too. The live line, the fact that the spectrum is alive, makes us behave differently. It narrows our presentation, even if it's not a show, right? Because we think about ourselves wanting to listen to it or hear it or see it, and we attempt to make it something we would find pleasant to listen to or want to listen to. May not necessarily need it to be pleasant, as it were, but want to listen to, right? Guitar's out of tune, so today this little methodology has gone awry from that. But I might start going live in the mornings. Because the end of year, for the last 30 years, end of year I'm always in the studio. I have rented studios, and right now studio's in transition, but there's plenty of space here, so it's actually set up to do work, and that's good. So this winter, I would like to accomplish certain things, and that's going to be happening here. And, you know, I have my roommates Bob and Yorick, but I gotta be honest, they're really not very enthusiastic. So maybe going live creates that pressure, right? It creates that vibrating thing of the spectrum. You don't allow dead air, you don't allow things to be paused, you attempt to communicate more directly and with more lucidity. Maybe your performances are a little more informed by the knowledge of the presence of an audience, I don't know. There you go, there's dead air, so I'm gonna call that the end.